Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Tanks Xbox 360 edition. I am Knight in Phoenix. Today I have some gameplay action from my brother Greyghost. He is taking out the T95, which is the American Tier 9 tank destroyer. The map is Lakeville and it is a standard battle. As many of you are aware, the T95 is probably the slowest vehicle in World of Tanks. And because of this, you kind of have to think out ahead of time what your plan is. Where are you going to go? What are you going to try and do? So anything to the right of our flag or to the west is really considered swamp. It's soft terrain and it's very difficult. It really does slow your vehicle down. And with the top speed of 13 kilometers, taking a T95 in that direction just is not a good idea. So it looks like we had a T29 here who was pretty insistent on giving Greyghost a push. And trust me, having played the T95 for way too long, we do appreciate the efforts. However, coming up and slamming into the rear end of the T95 at a 45-degree angle really isn't going to benefit anybody. You know, at the same time, if you see a T95 heading from point A to point B, feel free to come up and give them a push. You know, I can tell you it's kind of a wasted effort in some cases. Each vehicle that gets behind and pushes that T95 only adds 1 kilometer an hour to the speed. But it really is nice having a T95 up in the front lines. The enemy have a tendency to pay attention to it, focus their attention on it. Which can, in many cases, free you up to do other things. So as we looked at the main map, as Greyghost brought it up, it appears we have plenty of guys over in the town right now, so there's really no need for him to head over that way. By the time he got there, the enemies that we're currently seeing on the map, they'd all be dead and it would have just been a wasted trip. The map did show that we had 3 friendlies going west, and the artillery is over there defending the what we call Death Valley. And as we said earlier, there's just no way for a T95 to go through that swampland. We have a tank destroyer on the main road between the hill and the body of water. So really right now it looks like the best position for Greyghost is approximately where he is. You can watch that lake road, he can watch beyond it, anything that may show up there. He does have the 155mm gun on here, so he's got some pretty good range and, well, really incredible firepower. Now he does not have the binoculars on here, which could help him detect or see anybody who is detected on the other side of the lake, but to this point I haven't seen anybody show up down there. So as he brings up the map, it looks like we have taken complete control of the town. The Death Valley, the pass over to the west, looks a little iffy. We do have some guys over there, but more and more enemy are starting to show up. So if that western pass does fall, Greyghost is in a pretty good position to defend the base. You know, still rather surprised that nothing is showing up on the other side of that lake. You know, we got the BWT down there, almost at the end of the road. He hasn't spotted anything yet. We're actually looking at the big map. It looks like there might be somebody way down there, but this may be where the lack of binoculars, Greyghost may not be able to actually see him, or it could just be far enough away where he wouldn't see him even with the binoculars. Hard to say. You know, I do have binoculars on my T95, and I would say sitting from this position that I have seen things across that lake. That's certainly something you want to consider when taking a tank destroyer where it's basically designed to sit back behind the lines and do as much damage as possible. You definitely want to have the best view range you can have. So it looks like the western pass has fallen. Our artillery is in trouble. The enemy has pushed through. Obviously the first place they're going to go is find the artillery. Greyghost Sixth Sense is going off, or it did go off, but there really doesn't seem to be anybody around that can shoot him.
He's gone. Find us another target.
And when you have a 155mm gun, that's all you need to see is the top of somebody's tank to kill him.
Target locked.
Alright, so here they come. They're all flooding through now. You know, the reload time on this 155mm gun is 18 seconds. It's probably not going to... Well, it obviously wasn't fast enough to save the artillery.
Let's find another target.
And that enemy tank destroyer obviously found himself in a position he was not expecting to be.
Target released.
So here we go. We got an opportunity, but we're not reloaded. And he sees the T-54E1, which is probably his biggest concern, autoloader. However, he has reloaded and spots the Tiger again and finishes him off. Now the 54E1 did do some damage. We got somebody to the rear right of us. We did see the 54E1 back off. He's probably reloading. Like I said, the 54E1 is an autoloader. He can fire off like, I think it's about 5 rounds 2 seconds apart, and then he's got to basically take cover and reload for, it's probably 30 or 40 seconds. And we can see the tracers going by. He is unloading probably his entire clip on somebody. You know, looking at the mini-map, I don't see, okay, the big map now you brought up, I don't see the 2 guys who are backing us up anymore, so he probably finished them off. So he had an IS come around the corner there, decided to stop up on that little ridge and expose his belly to Greyghost. He fired and killed him too. So as far as we know at this point, the only thing left over there is a T-54E1. Watching his icon real quickly there, it looks like he may be retreating. He's probably thinking, no, everything that has come around this bend here has died, and may not be thinking that's what he wants to do. Now he could stay down there and just keep poking his nose out and keeping Greyghost spotted, but I have a feeling he wants to engage him. He doesn't want to play the cat and mouse stuff. You know, Greyghost is in the T95. He's 100% health. The T-54E1 is going to have one heck of a time damaging him unless he can get around to the side or rear of him. And honestly, in my opinion, it would have been best for the T-54 to stay down there and just keep Greyghost spotted so that the rest of his team could take shots at him. Because right now, Greyghost isn't spotted, so nobody really knows exactly where he's at. They have an idea where he was. So now we do have some type of a tank destroyer coming down the lake road, and again you have to make a decision. You got that T-54, last we saw he's on the right of me. If I turn my side and pay attention to the tank destroyer on the road, I expose my side and that could be a problem. If I don't pay attention to the road, then whoever's coming down that road is going to start taking shots at my side. So he's kind of doing a pretty good thing here. He's put both the right and the left targets in between them. So either way, they're going to be kind of like a 45-degree shot. He has a good chance of bouncing anything that may hit him in the front. Actually, that's kind of redundant. Anything that hits a T95 in the front is going to bounce. So he's backing up here, giving himself a little bit of separation from both targets, really. And what this allows him to do, it really narrows down how much he may have to move left or right to engage whatever may show up.
Target acquired. Target released.
And there they are. Now the T-25 got lucky that Greyghost didn't kill him. Hit him in the tracks, tracked him, did no damage to him. You could look at the other way. Greyghost didn't hit him where he needed to. It was a bad shot. Either way, that T-25 did not get killed. And if he had, it may have very well changed the outcome of this game. So if you've been counting, I think that's like the, well, that's probably the 4th or 5th time that Greyghost has been tracked now at this point. He's still 100% health, but they keep knocking his tracks off. T-25 just hit him in the side. There's still no damage to him. He's taking shots from the left. They're not damaging him either. It is very tough to damage a T-95, but it is so easy to track them and keep them in place. Now Greyghost really only has a shot on the turret of the E75, so he might as well see if he can get lucky. And he's tracked once again. We can tell from the damage indicator or the hit indicator that the T95 is still shooting him from the right. He still hasn't taken any damage. Greyghost does manage to hit the, looks like the exhaust ports on that E75, do some damage on him. He is tracked again. Now somebody finally hits him in the fuel tanks, which I'm not sure how they did that because the fuel tanks are on the top and the rear, but it's knocked a good 60% of his health away. And there's the E75 again. The only thing you can really shoot at the moment is the turret, and it does bounce. Greyghost is tracked again. That may be 2 or 3 more tracks. I'm not even keeping count anymore. And the T25 does finally manage to get a devastating shot on him, kills him. Obviously the mission is over. At some point all the rest of Greyghost's team managed to die. So anyway, that's some gameplay in the T95. I thought it was interesting to show you guys sort of how accurate, how devastating that 155mm gun can be on it. And at the same time, how incredibly difficult it is to actually penetrate, let alone kill, a T95. However, it is probably one of the easiest vehicles to track that I've ever come across. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would appreciate it if you would click the like button. Please feel free to subscribe. You'll get notifications on when I do post new videos. Leave any comments you may have in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. And as always, I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.